Let's say you have designed this card with care and attention. It looks clean, organized, and visually appealing. But what happens when the content changes? Suddenly, the layout breaks. Your carefully crafted spacing becomes a disaster, and you constantly have to resize things manually. And that's so time-consuming, frustrating, and just not scalable. So it's properly can't be the right solution. Well, here's a question. Shouldn't there be a smarter way to make your design flexible so it can adjust automatically when the content changes? There is exactly where Figma's Auto Layout comes in. It lets you build smart, responsive frames that behaves predictably, even as content grows or shrinks. Actually, with Auto Layout, you can change or remove content without breaking the layout. Set padding around your content. Define a spacing between your elements. Stack elements vertically, horizontally, or even create grids. Move things around without losing structure. And align content the way you want. In short, Auto Layout lets your designs adapt without falling apart. Before we applying step-by-step Auto Layout to that card, let's dive in and learn the power and logic of Auto Layout with a simple example. Before we go for an example, please like the video and subscribe to this channel so that we can go with a lot of energy for a nice practical learning. Let's go. Well, as you can see, we have three different elements here: an image, a shape, and a text block. First, we will place these three elements inside a frame by right-click and select this option, Frame Selection. When we select the frame, in the Property panel and Layout section, we can see some options and settings for this frame. By default, frames are in a freeform mode, meaning we can freely place any elements in anywhere that we want, actually inside the frame. The only settings are manually entering the width number, height, and options like locking the aspect ratio like this. You can see connect them, and also clip content like this. Now let's start the magic. At the top of the layout section, right here, there is a button for Auto Layout. If I click on that, instantly everything changes. Actually, the frame wraps snugly around its content, and a new set of powerful settings appear. These settings allow us to define rules so that our frame behaves intelligently and predictably when its content or size changes. The first one is direction. You can choose to arrange elements horizontally or vertically, or even tabular. For now, let's stick with the horizontal layout. Okay, the first option that I want to explain it is gap. This option defines the space. As you change the number, you'll see the elements move closer together or further apart. You can set it manually, for example, 40 pixels, like this, or use this handler. The next option is padding. Padding is the empty space or internal margin of the frame itself, the distance from the content to the edges, from left and right, and top and bottom. You can see the blue guideline for this option. How it works? Think of it like a protective foam inside a shipping box. Actually, it keeps the content safe from the sides, from the edges. Okay, we can set horizontal and vertical padding for every Auto Layout frame. And by clicking the icon next to it, we can define a unique value for all four sides completely separately. you can see the changes in the canvas. Which is a very useful feature. And this big box is the next option I want to explain. Alignment. This is a 9-point grid that controls the overall position of the content inside the frame. Let's test it. To see its effect, the frame's dimension need to be larger than its content, like this. Okay, if I change this option, you can see change the alignment for its content. So let's go to examine the heart of auto layout together, sizing logic. Let's see. This is where the true power of auto layout is revealed. For both the frame, actually we can call it parent, and the element inside it. We can call each element of the frame children, parent. Totally, there are 3 different main sizing behavior. And of course, you see 2 of these here, this part, fix and hug. And if you click on one element like this, you can see the third one, fill. Okay, so we have 3 different options: fix, hug, and fill. And fix is repetitive here. Okay, back to frame. The first one is fix. This mode means the width or height is a specific static number. Its value remains fixed until you manually change it. For example, I can change it to 1000, for example, like this, like this. Okay. The next option is hug content. This option is typically used for parent frame. As you can see, if I select an element, I couldn't see that option. I can just see the fix and fill. Well, when a frame size is set to hug, it's no longer fixed. It becomes dynamic. The frame will always resize itself to be just big enough to fit the content inside it. Let's see. See, if a child elements get bigger or smaller, the frame can change itself and actually adapt itself with the content's width and dynamically change. Even we have a new one like this, the frame automatically grows to hug its children. And definitely this rule applies to both widths and heights. If I select the frame, I can set this rule for height too. And if I change the height of, for example, one child, I can see the height of this frame is changed automatically. Okay, let's see the third option. If I select an element in layout settings, I can see the fill container option. This option is only meaningful for the child elements inside a frame actually. When a child element like this photo is set to fill container, it looks at its parent frame and says, I will stretch myself to fill all the available space you give me. You can see if I change the parent dimension, actually parent width, the photo stretch and fill all the extra space. And also if we set the text width to fill container like this, and then resize the frame, the text width dynamically adapt to. As you can see, both elements intelligently divide the available space between themselves. You can see these light numbers here, 534.5, 534.5. What about the height? As you can see, nothing has happened yet, but if I set the fill container for height of this photo, you can see it fills all of available space in the height dimensions and also in width dimensions. Okay, so in short, I can say the fix option means we have a specific number that's unchangeable till we change it manually. Okay, for both dimensions, width and height, completely similar. On the other hand, we have two other options. Hug content is a dynamic option for the parent, actually the outer frame. With this option, the parent size depends on its children's size, and the last one was fill content, that is a dynamic option for the child. With this option, the child size completely depends on its parent available space. By deeply understanding these three concepts and the parent-child relationship, you can design any kind of responsive and intelligent component in Figma. In the next session, we will tackle auto layouting the card from the start to finish. What do you think is the most confusing part of auto layout? Let me know in comments. Stay tuned for the next session.